Hey, check this out. Something I just noticed, man. Just recently, I made this plagues video, right? I've been getting just fucking barraged, man, by a bunch of mosquitoes, right? Or at least for a second there, I thought I was going crazy, like there was mites or something else. I thought for a second there. But I was outside earlier, and I felt a mosquito, and I looked down, and these things are so freaking small. They're like micro assassin mosquitoes, because you can't see them. They're almost like what in the down south they call no-see-ums. And they're little, basically, tiny bugs that bite you, that they're almost invisible. So what's tripping me is like, all right, what happens with the Zika? You get shrunken heads, right? Well, we got these fucking tiny miniature mosquitoes. They're not microscopic, but they're pretty freaking small. And their bite freaking sucks. I'll tell you that, man. It's real irritating. Doesn't feel very good. It's got a high itch burn quality to it. And it's just really, not only that, it just has this constant psychological morale effect of just, of constant harassment by bugs. And, just share my experiences, because this is like, look, I'm just out in the neighborhood, man. I'm not out in the deep wood right now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I go there too, and it sucks worse. But no, it's just seems like there's nowhere to escape these freaking mosquitoes. At least this summer, it's been, and there it is too, man. Wait, no, actually that might be me. Oh, there's ants chewing on these plants too. Just be noticing all the plants. There's been a lot of chewing on the freaking plants too. So the bugs are acting weird, man. I think, they're just kind of, everything's acting a little weird in nature right now. Seen a lot of weirdness. But this don't surprise me, because look, they're spraying this stuff supposedly to kill the mosquitoes. They're using the mosquitoes as a pretext to spray us with something. So, and it's like basically Roundup, man. They're spraying us with Roundup. That's pest killer. That's what they kill rats and other stuff with. And they just spray it over us to get them. And they don't give a F about you. You just gotta, you know what I'm saying? Inhale some of that freaking chemical. And all these chemicals add to some kind of infertility thing where it's like, and women, it attacks their, the breasts and the ovaries or whatever. And in dudes, it attacks, their stuff. So it's and once again, here's another thing, man. It's the X-Files, man, where they were talking about messing with the bug pheromones, and it would drive everyone into a zombie-like state where they get all paranoid, and they'd be in this kind of, it's like when competing females in the wild, in a way. You know what I'm saying? They get all weird from hormones and shit. Or like a deer when they start fighting each other over the women. So someone down the line has thought of using animal chemicals and pheromones and shit and mosquitoes. And then you got this guy named, I don't know what his name is, I forgot, but it's a paperclip scientist, and he works off of Roanoke Island or something like that. Either Astor Island or Jekyll Island. I can't remember either, but you can find out about it. Nazi paperclip scientist, Lyme disease. That's all you'd have to Google, and the dude's name will pop up, okay? So I'm not just talking crazy here. There's also been the flea bomb, where they were going to drop a bunch of fleas out of the sky. They've been hitting us with the chems, and God only knows what's in them chems, and some deep black sources. You know what I'm saying? Some black water type shit. Would know exactly what is in this stuff. But yeah, there's just I wouldn't be surprised if we see more like weirdness in the bugs and in the people. It's like I think there's more bugs than any other kind of like creatures on planet. There's more of them. So it's like, see, things don't, it's not evolution, but they could go through what you call as an adaptation, is where animals that, if you threaten them too hard for too long or introduce like other radical mutagenic substances, uh you can change things, and they can. There's like that movie where the trees start killing everyone and the flowers. I mean, I think that's kind of more like fear porn propaganda, but there is kind of some truth to that, where things will take on like more fearsome attributes uh, due to different environmental changes, like solar radiation management, geothermal engineering, ecofascism, and all the disasters, radiological disasters that have already transpired, and other chemical like Corexit down in BP, and then there's the trash from all the tsunamis that's dragging all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's just, there's a lot of chemical warfare, chemical changes going on, and just like AIDS was created by the Defense Department as a counter biochemical weapons from the Nazi. I mean, once again, probably same people that they hired to do the Lyme disease flea bomb research, because fleas actually carried the freaking plague, and it's like people don't realize this, that look, biological warfare is ancient. They always sent the other people, anyone they wanted to fight and take over, they would send them smallpox blankets, man, or plague bodies. You know what I'm saying? So that they've been doing that since way medieval times. So it's just now, for some reason, we're in this kind of like, oh, Uncle Sam's got it under control type of a mindset. It's not the freaking case, because it's not always Uncle Sam. There's like multinational, corporate, like straight up, like subsidy, motherfucking front groups or some shit, something like that. I just had to make that sound professional. But I mean, it's really like that. They got subcontracted. That's what I was looking for. Subcontracted, private sector, EIEIO types, like ex-EIEIO, now freelance EIEIO. And they carry out like weird fucking weapons testing, fucking, and all kinds of weird spycraft. Because the whole thing about spycraft is about, they use this technology before anyone else knows they have it. So just by knowing that's how it works, you got to know that they're using it, and someone's using it. Someone's gathering intelligence and research from these things, these patents, and whatever they're showing you, they probably already had prototypes before that they were already in, that were operational, functional. That's another thing, like with the frequencies, like dogs and animals, and they have these like higher frequency ranges in their ears, so they could hit an animal rage type of frequency, and I was watching a video about the locust swarms, and they get triggered by basically just like water molecules and stuff. When they get hot, they start to bump up against each other, and eventually they turn into like a gas. They go from a water, or you know what I'm saying? If it's ice, melts the water, gets hit by the sun. They speed up and bounce, and then they evaporate. In a way, that's kind of how the grasshoppers work. First, there's the grasshoppers. Then, if there's an overpopulation of them and they keep running into each other and bouncing into each other too much, they start to release a pheromone that basically makes them go into swarm mode, horde mode, which is interesting. You know what I'm saying? How that works there. And that's an environmental change. You know what I'm saying? That triggers a thing that is kind of normally more docile into a more kind of look. It turns it into a predator. It's kind of like the analogy of Voltron. All the things alone, any one of them ain't really nothing, but you add them all together and it becomes a big thing, because they might not bite you necessarily, but if they eat everything in your environment up, they ate everything you were going to eat, so that in a way they devoured you too, because you're dependent on it to survive. Really, when it comes down to it, it's really not the government that you're dependent on. It's really you're dependent on the systems, the ecosystems working like at least decent. You know what I'm saying? That really, because if everything fell apart, that's what you would depend on, and that's what